we've had a huge blow up. I mean, it's a crisis now. I don't know that there's institutions when they start blocking redemptions in mass. That's usually not the stopping point. That's usually the starting point. You realize that there's an extremely high probability that we are not in the ninth inning of this private credit crisis and blow up. That it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. And you just got a witch's brew. You've got a cocktail. You've got a perfect storm for, I won't go as far as say GFC 2.0, but definitely a severe recession. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hello, fellow Rebel Capitalist Substack subscribers. Hope you guys are doing well. Been a couple weeks here since I've been able to do a market wrap up or weekly wrap up due to my internet connection completely failing. I moved, and the building where I moved did not have a fiber connection. So we've had to get the guys over, and it's back and forth, and it's Medellin, Colombia, so it takes time and blah, 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 blah. But finally, actually, I don't have the fiber connection yet, but I've got a new router that's giving us just barely enough upload speed in order to do these videos. But getting back on track, we've got a lot to talk about. If you guys have been watching my videos, you know that we've had a huge blow up. I mean, it's a crisis now. I don't know that there's any other way to describe it in terms of private credit and what that's doing not only to private credit, creating more cockroaches, but also to the banking system and to liquidity, or therefore the circulation of money and credit. And usually when you get a deterioration, a substantial deterioration of the circulation of money and credit, it leads to a financial crisis. Why? Because the whole system is predicated upon that circulation. You want to call it a debt-based system, whatever you want to call it. We have to have credit and money circulating. It's just like oil in an engine. And if that oil stops circulating, if that money and credit stops circulating, it doesn't matter how awesome the bank's balance sheets are. It doesn't matter how pristine they are. It doesn't matter how much different they are than 2007, 2008. They might not go bust. I'm not saying you're going to have a repeat, an exact repeat, but they're going to have problems. They're going to have real problems. And those problems will bleed into the real economy. And you combine that with what we're seeing with oil prices due to the, whatever you want to call it, in the Middle East, and you combine that with a deteriorating labor market, an economy that was already incredibly fragile. And usually that's the tipping point. And again, I'm not saying that JP Morgans and all these entities go bust and they need a bailout, but I am saying that this credit cycle is likely, there are no certainties, only probabilities, but this credit cycle is likely to play out like others, where we've gone through the boom phase and now we're headed into the bust phase